in a certain city, 80% of the households have cable television and 60% of the households have video cassette recorders. If there are 150,000 households in the city, then the number of households that have both cable TV and video cassette recorders could be any number from. So this certainly sounds like an overlapping set question. Um, so if I make my matrix, so we got households that have cable TV, then ones that don't have cable, and then we get ones that have VCRs, and then ones with no VCR. And let's fill in our table. So I'm going to start with the actual number that we know. So there are 150,000 households in the city, so that's our total. And then they say 80% have cable TV. So 80% is 4/5. So 4/5 of 150,000. So that's 30,000. So 4 times 30,000 is 120,000. And those are the households that have cable, which means 30,000 don't have cable. 60% have VCRs, so that is 3/5. Know your fifths. Absolutely. So 3/5 of 150,000 is 30,000. Sorry. 3 times 30,000 is 3/5 of 150,000. That's 90,000. Those are the people that have VCRs, which means 60,000 don't have VCRs. And then we want the range for the people who could be in this group here, cable and VCRs. So let's think how we can find this range. So really all we know is just what the maximum is, what we are limited by, because these numbers here and these numbers here are just the totals for our rows and columns. So we certainly cannot exceed those in any of our individual boxes. So let's think what this means. So let's say we call the number we're looking for X. That would mean this guy here has to be 90,000 minus X. So what do we know about X? So X cannot exceed 120,000. It also can't exceed 90,000, so it's got to be less than both of those. And so 90,000 is the more limiting number there. And so saying that X has to be less than 120,000 and 90,000 is really just the same as saying X must be less than 90,000. So that's one thing we know about X. What else do we know? So 90,000 minus X, that also has to be less than 90,000. It also has to be less than 30,000. So that's really just the same as saying it's got to be less than 30,000. So 90,000 minus X has to be less than 30,000. So based on that, so if we add X to each side and then subtract 30,000 from each side, we got X has to be greater than 60,000. So here we have our range, 60,000 to 90,000, which is C. They say inclusive, so it's possible to have 0 people in one of the groups, I guess. So maybe we should have put, fortunately, all of our answer choices say inclusive. So if you missed that, it's not a big deal.